Crimson Trace offers a free Batteries for Life program that includes nearly all laser sights, electronic sights, and rifle scopes. Just register your product for a free set of batteries each year at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, it's world champion speed shooter Jerry Miculek, a new trigger from Timney to go the distance, lightweight and slim self-defense lights, and more. And as always, call 866-TALK-GUN. That's Tom Talk Gun with your comments, questions, and range reports. And now, here's Tom.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you probably ought to put on your seatbelt because it's going to be all over the place today. Keep your arms and your hands inside the vehicle at all times. Hey, I'm Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk. We have so much to talk about today. It's a good thing we have 3 hours to do it in. Be your chance to jump in. If you want to do it, you might want to get in line early. If you want to just offer your thoughts, or you know what, if you don't like guns at all, if you stumbled on this show and go, whoa, a show called Gun Talk? Really? If you don't like guns, call me. Tell me why. I'll shut up for a while and let you talk. 866-TALK-GUN. It's real easy. Just call Tom Talk Gun. We have so many things to talk about. We have hunting seasons coming up. We're going to be talking about self-defense. We have a couple of court cases of self-defense, supposedly. We have, a concealed carry firearms instructor shooting one of the students. Duh. And, generally it's not a good idea to shoot your own students, I would just say. How many times have I told you, if it looks like the instructor is doing something unsafe, get up and leave the room or turn around and walk off the range. If you see, as happened out in this case, California, the instructor's picking up people's guns and doing, quote unquote, trigger test. Really? And somehow managed to pull the trigger on a loaded gun, and it did exactly what he wanted it to do. Well, maybe not what he wanted to do. It did what he told it to do. It went bang. Yep. And not only did he violate rule number 1, all guns are always loaded, he violated rule number 2, never point a gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. Don't assume that, and this was a course put on by a sheriff's department, don't assume that police are sharp on guns or that they're safe. Don't assume that your instructor is good. And feel empowered to speak up at the very first time you see a problem. Not, whoa, man, that makes me uncomfortable. I wish you wouldn't do. Are you kidding me? How about, hey, don't point that gun at anybody. If he or she has a problem with that, then that's his problem or her problem, not your problem. If you have to leave, then leave. I know people who've walked out of a course that they paid hundreds of dollars to take. One guy said, by lunch, I got tired of having guns pointed at me, and I just left. You are responsible for your own safety. It's not just a case of having a gun to protect yourself. It's also having the smarts to get away from a situation. Get away. If something bad's going to happen, try not to be there when it happens. And then we have this case down in Clearwater, Florida. You remember the video, was it a year or so ago we saw? Let me recreate this. We see the security video. It's a convenience store. A man is inside the store. His wife is outside in the car. I think she's got her child with her. And they have parked in the handicap slot. And so some guy decides that he's going to be the enforcer of the handicap sign law. And he is giving this woman what for. She's sitting in her car. She's got her kid with her. She's waiting for her husband to come back out. Whether or not she should be parking there, in this case, is actually irrelevant, but it is important to the story in one interesting way. And this guy's really giving her a hard time. And so somebody comes in the store and tells the husband, says, hey, There's a guy out there. He's yelling at your wife. So the guy comes out, sees what's going on. He runs up there and shoves this guy and knocks him to the ground. Basically, get away from my wife, because he's leaning in the car window. The guy he shoved down, Michael Drekja, Drejkaa, on the ground pulls out his pistol, and the husband who had shoved him to the ground starts backing away. I mean, you clearly see the guy backing away. But Drejka shoots him and kills him on the spot. Well, he was just convicted of manslaughter. He tried to use the stand your ground law, which doesn't apply in this case anyway. All the stand your ground says is that you don't have to retreat. It says nothing about whether a shoot is justifiable. There are lessons to be learned from this. One, I would say, let's start off with this one. Mind your own business. Whether a car is parked in a handicap slot or not is none of your business. It is not up to you to enforce the laws. It is not up to you to give an outlet to your outrage. Mind your own business. Because you never know where this escalation is going to go. In this case, it ended up with somebody dead. Somebody's going to go to prison for years, many years. Lives ruined, families ruined. Another thing is, if you get into a shooting, and this guy, Drekja, ends up doing a full police interview in the interview room at the police station, recorded on video. And he's going into all this detail. He actually is recreating what he thinks happened. And a lot of it is wrong. It doesn't gel with the video. Never pass up an opportunity to shut your mouth, especially if you've been involved in a self-defense shooting. It's real simple. Officer, you and I both know this is very serious. I'll be happy to cooperate with you, but, I need to talk to my attorney first. Well, blah, 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 and we just need to ask a few questions. Well, you know what? I'll be happy to answer questions after I've talked to my attorney. I need to talk to my attorney over and over again. And then finally may have to say, officer, no more questions. They say, well, we're going to have to arrest you if you won't talk to us. Well, you know what? They're going to do what they're going to do no matter what you do. Talking is not going to help your cause. Ever. As every police officer I know has said, whenever you hear these words coming out of your mouth, you're in trouble. Those words are, but I can explain. Shut your mouth. This guy's going to go to prison for years, maybe decades, who knows? Because in my view, it wasn't a good shoot. It's one of those deals you think of, was he looking for somebody to shoot? I don't know. I don't know what was going on there. We also have some things we're going to be talking about in just a second here. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her cancer has flared up. She has pancreatic cancer. What's that going to mean for the Supreme Court if she cannot continue on the court? And it also brings to mind people who are saying, well, Trump isn't this and Trump isn't that. He's not solid Second Amendment. 2 words for you, Supreme Court. We already have 2. If we could get a third one, it would be a game changer for the next 20 or 30 years. We can talk about that as well. Also, I have new rifles. I finally got this new 6.5 PRC. Haven't had it to the range yet, just arrived, but I do want to talk about that. And the 6.5 Creedmoor. I was in a store yesterday, day before maybe, big box store, walking around looking at rifle ammo. And I think they had more 6.5 Creedmoor ammo, different types of ammo, than they had for anything else other than 223. What's going on here? Is this the current one that everybody's going to have to buy? If you're buying a new rifle, particularly a deer rifle, I would encourage you to take a look at that. If you have a 6.5, whether it's the Swede or the Creed, let me know. 866-TALK-GUN. How's it been working for you? We're always looking for range reports. If you've been shooting, if you've taken somebody out to the range, give us a holler at 866-TALK-GUN.
Marry a hot semi-automatic rifle with a state-of-the-art optic, and you get a double handful of awesome. the Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2 Optic Ready Rifle in 5.56 NATO. Comes with a Picatinny rail gas block, topped with the Crimson Trace CTS 103 optic. You get both red and green dot reticles, the rifle you want, the optic you crave, at a price you can afford. Visit smith-wesson.com.
This is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Visit guntalk.com/win to enter our latest giveaway. This month, enter to win with SureFire. One person will win SureFire's X300U handgun light, featuring a stunning 1,000 lumens. And two folks will win SureFire Stiletto rechargeable pocket flashlight. Enter now through August 30th at guntalk.com/win. That's guntalk.com/win.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime, setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at timneytriggers.com.
Back with you, 866 Talk Gun will get you in here. We're going to talk about, well, let's see, the guns you're buying, the guns you're getting ready for the hunting season. You know, hunting seasons are already open in a lot of places. People are out hunting antelope, certainly hunting birds, different places. I mean, it's late October. It's there. I mean, late August, rather. We're almost there. I wish it was late October. That's when I'm going to be doing my deer hunt. I've been thinking about that, getting my gear together. I am still working on which caliber to take. I just got the new 6.5 PRC rifle in. It's a Ruger number 1. It's the only one. Well, it's the only one in the world. They made this up. They're interested in seeing what kind of interest there would be in that. The 6.5 PRC cartridge is really interesting. Imagine it's a 6.5 Creedmoor, but with 200 to 300 feet per second more velocity. Think of it as a Creedmoor Magnum, if you will. Getting 3,000 feet per second roughly out of a 143 grain bullet. And because of the high BC on those bullets, they're like magic bullets. You know, they outperform. I mean, it will outperform a 270. Past 300 yards, it outperforms 30-06. It's pretty amazing stuff. Thinking about that one, but then again, I've got these other. Well, we'll talk about that. I'm trying to figure it out. What are you going to be using this fall for your hunts? 866 Talk Gun. Dave's called in from Springfield, Missouri on one. Hey, Dave, you're on Gun Talk. What you got?
Yeah, I got a range report.
Sure.
I called in some time ago, and you were talking about you couldn't grip your 365 SIG, having trouble with the short grip.
With the short mag, I can grip it. It's just my little fingers are hanging out. That's why I went to the 12-round mag, which gives me a little bit better purchase. So what did you work out here?
Yeah, I've carried a Glock 26 for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out, I was watching a video of Hickok 45,
mm-hmm.
and he was shooting a Glock 27. And he said he didn't use his little finger at all. And so I went to the range with quite a bit of ammo and tried that. And about 200 rounds later, I figured out what was going on. And at 15 yards, I could draw and shoot as fast as I could, 10 rounds, and it was center mass. and I used body alignment sighting. I didn't use the sights.
Right.
For defensive purposes, probably sights are not very good. But
what did you do? What did you change in your grip?
I dangled the little finger. I just used the two fingers.
Oh, okay. It's what you have to do. It's your only choice. It's just because there's no place to put the little finger. When I do it, my little finger kind of goes, I think it's actually underneath the end of the grip with my two-handed grip. So the little finger actually kind of gets squished underneath the grip. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I used a Pierce grip extension, and I got rid of that because I didn't need it with a 26.
Interesting.
And it really worked out great. I saw this guy shoot, and I said he's shooting with two fingers and hitting everything.
Well, now here's one thing you may not know. Do you know how big Hickok 45 is? He's
6'8".
He's huge.
And he's got big old hands.
Big old hands, yeah.
And he can flat out shoot. He said he won his first gun matches with a Glock 10 millimeter. That was his favorite.
I mean, his hands are huge, and he's a friend, but and the amazing part is his son, who's on some of his videos with him, is even taller than he is.
Yeah,
I mean, Hickok is 6. What did you say? 6'8"? Yeah, and I think it's
6'8", and he's got the biggest hands I've ever seen.
It's unbelievable, and the fact that he can shoot this little tiny Glock 26 is impressive.
He loves the baby Glocks. He loves the 27 and the 26, and but when you learn to shoot with those two fingers like that, he said a lot of times when you use that little finger, you're gonna jump to the left when you're shooting. You're going to pull to the left.
Yeah, if you're right-handed, yes.
That's right.
Yeah, I think what you do is you end up wrapping that the little finger underneath the grip, and then get a good grip with the other hand. So you got a two-handed grip, and you're right. You're basically holding it with your ring finger and your middle finger of your shooting hand. Now, it does help to have some strength in your hands to be able to do that, and he can do that because he's strong. In terms of controlling recoil, did you have to make any adjustments or kind of work out the system to make it work for you?
Yeah, it took me a while, but I started squeezing a tennis ball a lot, strengthened my hands up, and there's no problem. And I thought about it. I used to carry an LCR Ruger as a backup, and you don't use a little finger with that. There's no place to put it. Even I don't care how small your hand is. But anyhow, I figured that out, and that body alignment sighting, especially for close-range defensive stuff, is the way to go.
It is. The other thing is, and I've had some instructors say, look, don't worry about stance. Everybody says stance. He says, look, you don't know where your feet are going to be if you get into a gunfight. You got to learn to shoot to the left and to the right and just do what you got to do. And, basically it's a matter of focus. And I think a lot of times we lose our focus, mental focus, and frankly, our visual focus. I think about my dad used to call it lazy eyes. When you're not really concentrating on the thing you're trying to shoot. You're just kind of looking around it. But if you bore in on that, in this case, if it's a self-defense deal, we're not shooting at a person, we're shooting at a button. If you bore in and look at that button, even if you're not using the sights, you will shoot pretty well that way.
Yeah, you can learn it. You can learn to shoot. It takes practice. It took me about 200 rounds to really figure out what was going on. But after that, it was nothing.
Cool.
And in a gunfight, it's not like shooting on the range when you're shooting paper or bang and clang or something like that. Self-defense is going to be close and it's going to be fast. And
the other thing is, I would suggest that everybody who's doing this kind of practice start moving. Move before you draw your guns. Take a step and pull, and then keep moving while you're shooting. Move, shoot, move, shoot. You do what you got to do, but don't stand there on the X, because people who stand still get shot.
Well, it's harder to hit a moving target.
Yes, and it's also harder to hit what you're shooting at when you're moving, and that's why you got to practice it.
Well, I practiced it that way, and that 26 is still my baby. I tried the 365. It's a nice little gun, but I like the 26 better. It's just something I'm used to, and I bought a 365, and one of these days I may carry it. I don't know.
Isn't it great that we have choices, though? Because one gun may fit your hand and the other one doesn't. And you go, well, and there's no reason not to. They're all good. Just go with the one that works. Hey, Dave, I appreciate it for you passing along this tip, and that's good. It gives us a chance to talk a little bit about shooting these smaller guns. I do want to drop down and talk with Fuzzy out of Jefferson, Texas, line 3. Fuzzy, you got a 6.5 Creedmoor, huh?
I actually think I had the first one in Texas, Tom.
Oh.
When the article came out in the NRA magazine, I read it while I was walking back to my office from the post office, and I just happened to flip to that article or whatever, and so I read enough of it, and I called my gun dealer over in Longview at the time,
right,
the gun doctor, and he ordered one, and I had it in 3 days shooting it.
So, I don't know, are you in a car or something? Man, we got a lot of wind noise or something going on there.
That's a bumpy road I live on. I get some real poor service out of the county out here.
Okay. So have you hunted with the 6.5 Creedmoor, and what bullet do you like to use?
Anything at the 142, 143 number.
Right. Yep.
Everything. I shoot mostly match until I'm hunting, and then I've got my own gun range on my place. I got all the way to 800 yards with steel.
Nice.
And then when I'm hunting, I just use like 140 grain hunting bullet.
Sure.
Sierra Match King.
And it's just it's amazing how effective it is. It's funny. People will say, well, you know, I might use it on deer, but I wouldn't use it on elk. And I'm thinking, you know, do you know how many thousands of moose have been shot with the 6.5 by 55 in Sweden? It's kind of the standard thing. And all the 6.5 Creedmoor is a 6.5 Swede with a faster twist rate, so you could use higher BC bullets, really.
Yeah. But anyway, you can run it right through the heart on a deer and wait till he moves his leg, and you can drop a deer right in his tracks with one.
Yeah, because they're just stone cold accurate. They really are. And the other part of it is, Fuzzy, and you can tell people about this, there's no recoil on it. It's not like shooting a Magnum, and that'll let you shoot better.
You're not dreading the recoil, and you can shoot more accurately.
Exactly. That's it. Hey, I appreciate the call. That's a great range report. 6.5 Creedmoor, for people who think, oh, yeah, it's the latest flavor of the month, and it's not going to hang around. I will tell you, I think it's going to be around for 20 years and beyond, because it just does so many things so well. Do you have any experience with that? 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, we're going to give away stuff.
Good morning, Mr. Gresham. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to host a radio show that will bring truth and common sense to the discussion of firearms rights in this country. Good luck, Tom, to you and your Tom Gresham's Gun Talk team.
All right, back with you, 866-TALK-GUN. We are, let's see, we do have him. Okay. We're trying to we got him lined up here because I want to talk about one of the more important things I think people miss on self-defense guns. Chances are your self-defense shooting situation will be in a low light, no light or low light. Generally not in the middle of the day. It happens, but as often as not in a situation where you can't see as well. Do we have Andrew lined up, Jim? All righty, let's get Andrew Wright in here right now from SureFire, one of the, of course, the very earliest makers of tactical lights, what we all have come to know what they are. Andrew, how long has SureFire been doing this anyway?
About 40 years, Tom. It's actually our 40th anniversary this year.
Wow, okay. I mean, because, you know, honestly, when people in their mind, they think of a tactical light, a handheld light, even a weapon-mounted light, everything that you see now, it was originally what we saw with SureFire, because you guys were the first. You basically created, I mean, I think it's fair to say you created the category, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, like I said, we've been doing it for 40 years. The first products we did were actually laser devices to assist with aiming back in the days of kind of rudimentary iron sights, and then it progressed to a small, compact, very high output flashlight that was pretty much 5 times as bright as everything else out in the market. And then eventually those obviously got adapted being mounted on firearms, and it progressed from there.
And of course, you know, we've known each other a long time. You know, I'm a flashlight junkie. literally, as we're talking, I have 2 flashlights in my pocket. I always have 2 flashlights on me because 1 is none and 2 is 1, right?
100%. And half the day is dark, and as you know, most bad things kind of happen when the sun goes down. So it's good to be able to see.
Yeah, it is, and it's not a case of people say, well, I've got I have night sights. I got tritium night sights. I'm like, that's great. But you need to see what's going on out there. You need to find out, first of all, you need to see the threat, but even more important, I would say, is to find out if it is a threat. It's one of the things, and I know when we talk about it, you've taught this, and you work with really good trainers. A real key to having a good light is actually identifying what's going on in front of you.
100%. I mean, you can't shoot until you make a positive ID, and we all know our eyes play tricks on us, as well as our brain when we're stressed out, especially when we can't see what's going on. So you definitely need a light source, whether it's weapon-mounted, and ideally it is, or at least a handheld to be able to make a shot. And so, yeah, having a flashlight on you is absolutely an essential piece of kit. If you're carrying a firearm, you need to be carrying a flashlight as well.
Talk to me about weapon-mounted lights versus handhelds.
So a weapon-mounted light allows you to have both hands on the firearm, which obviously is going to give you more control. You're going to be more accurate. You're going to have better recoil control. So for follow-up shots, it's going to be better just in about every way. The downside is it adds a little bit of bulk to the gun. So some people, if you're concealing a very, very small firearm, it might not be an option. And so obviously a handheld is going to be the route that you go. And you can still, with proper training and technique, engage, accurately and sustained with a handheld light. But in a best case scenario, a weapon light is the way to go. So if it's a home defense firearm, generally, I really strongly recommend weapon lights such as our X300 Ultra. That's our gold standard for handgun weapon lights. But if it's an everyday carry, smaller gun, then you need to have a good, trusty handheld light, such as our Stiletto or our E1B backup. There's a bunch of options that we make depending on what switching you like and beam pattern. But the point is you need to have a good, solid handheld light with you if you're not going to have a weapon light on the gun.
And I know there are people who are thinking, they're repeating that same old thing that we've heard for years and years. Yeah, but, if you've got a light on your gun, then everything you point your light at, you point your gun at, and that's not safe. But that's just a training issue, isn't it?
100%. I mean, you can bounce light off of the floor, you can bounce light off of the ceiling, and you're going to be able to make a positive ID of what's going on. So that's just a training issue. That's some rhetoric that's been, kind of regurgitated over time, but in practice, it is not the case.
It occurs to me, when we started out, and we were really impressed when you had lights that had 60 lumens, and, maybe bouncing light off the floor or off of something else, there wasn't really enough light to do you a whole lot of good, but that, Lord Almighty, has that changed with how bright things have gotten?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even our compact pistol light, like the XC1, which is powered off of 1 AAA, even that has 300 lumens, which is, a whole lot more than 3 times of what they used to be as far as light output goes. And so that'll definitely get you a long way, especially in like a no light situation. When there's no light at all, that's a whole lot of light. And then especially if we're talking about the new X300 Ultra, which is putting out 1,000 lumens. I mean, bouncing that off a ceiling, you're going to light up the entire room or the floor.
That's crazy. That's just crazy to have 1,000 lumens in a smallish weapon-mounted light. That's just nuts. I mean, and for people, if they don't know, we're talking about a light you can put on your pistol and leave it on there and get a holster that's made to take it, and you could carry this. This is your everyday carry system with the light already attached to the handgun.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of people that carry X300s on a daily basis. It's definitely a viable solution and definitely the best weapon light for that. But, and some people might say 1,000 lumens, that might be too much because pistol distances, most times I'm shooting not even at 20 yards and in. But realistically, the more amount of light you have, the more information that you have. So you're going to be able to make a better decision. You're going to see what the hands are doing. You're going to see what people have in their hands. It's just allowing you to make a more accurate decision in a time-is-life situation where you don't have a whole lot of seconds, and every bit of information is going to be very valuable.
Yeah, the other thing is that when you got that much light, if it's a low-light situation, the other person, his eyes are already dilated, and you hit him with 1,000 lumens of light, he can't see you. Really, just they can't see you and know what's going on.
100%, yeah, and that's going to buy you a little bit of time as well to give you a little bit more time in the decision-making, process as far as your OODA loop goes. But yeah, 100%. It can be used to disorient. That the same goes with a handheld as well. I mean, that's definitely a good, kind of less than lethal option as far as dissuading anybody that might be coming up to you even in the middle of the night before the gun's out. You put a light on somebody and they're going to think twice before they keep approaching.
Yep. Hey, hold on a second here, Andrew. I want to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about narrow beam versus wide beam, because it's one of the things people may not think about, and maybe thinking that I'll go one way, and you and I are thinking, yeah, but you'd be better off going the other way. We'll talk about that. We're talking right now with Andrew Wright from SureFire. If you've got a question about lights, using lights on self-defense guns, 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back. Used guns can be a great value, but you have to know who you're buying from. What if you could buy quality used guns with a lifetime warranty from the Internet's largest online reseller? That's what you get at DuriesGuns.com. They stand behind every firearm purchase for life. If you have a problem, they'll either fix or replace your gun. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, and more. Check out their inventory today at DuriesGuns.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Batagroup. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms. You want to reach for history, for greatness. So reach for the FN57, a 5.7 millimeter pistol built with the DNA of over a century of legendary FN firearms. And now, it's within reach at your local firearms dealer. The FN57 is the perfect combination of accuracy and stopping power. FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
Back with you. We're talking with Andrew Wright from SureFire. Check it out, SureFire.com. Andrew, I noticed that you guys make weapon-mounted lights, handheld lights. You got all different kinds of lights, a lot of them that people don't even know about, but some have spot configurations, very tight, narrow beams. Some have more of a flood beam. How does somebody choose, and what's the value of one versus the other?
Yeah, absolutely. We make many different beam patterns, and really it just comes down to what you're using the light for. So, for instance, if you have a big piece of property and you're often checking that property or doing whatever you need to do task-wise on that property and you need to see in long distances, then something that has a little bit more candela, which is the measurement for distance, is going to be what you want to go with. However, if it's an everyday carry light and 90% of the time you're shining into things like very, very close in, then obviously you don't need a whole lot of throw, but a little bit more, width or flood is going to be beneficial for having a little bit more situational awareness. So we have a beam pattern called our Max Vision beam in many different flashlights, and that allows you to have a wall of light that's super wide and very, very even, and then you have a little bit more situational awareness on what's going on. It's also beneficial as far as handhelds go when you're using them in conjunction with a firearm, because sometimes you don't have it completely lined up if you have a handheld and you're also shooting.
Yep.
It's hard to line it up perfectly. So having that little extra leeway, that wider beam pattern, can be much easier to shoot accurately with and not worry about if the flashlight's perfectly aligned.
That's a great point. I've done that a number of times in these low light classes, and you have a handheld light that has a pretty tight beam, and you bring your gun up, you got your light up, and the two are not pointing the same place, and you're looking at your sights and there's no light there, or you're looking at your light and there's no sights there, and so that wider beam. I remember we did an example of this stuff when we were doing the Guns and Gear show of the wide beam, and we basically came up on a threat, and you could look at him, but there was another person off to the side, and with a narrow beam, you couldn't see that person. The wide beam lets you see if there may be more than one bad guy there.
Yeah, that's a great point. Sometimes with a little bit more of a spot beam pattern, you can kind of get sucked into the light and just stay in that channel, whereas with a nice wide beam pattern like our Max Vision, you have a bigger picture on what's going on, and you might see another threat that you didn't see before.
What's been the biggest change in lighting technology over the years?
I'd say, there's two. The main one is obviously LEDs. When LEDs came on the market, it absolutely changed the game as far as output and efficiency. So we started to get more output. Well, initially it wasn't the case, actually, but eventually it started to get more output than the incandescents could do at a much more efficient rate as far as battery consumptions go. And then lately, in the last couple of years, it's been battery technology. With the lithium-ion and the lithium polymer batteries that have come onto the market, you're able to get a lot more performance as far as battery life and output out of these flashlights, which is how we're able to get to 1,500 lumen handhelds that have a decent runtime. It's pretty incredible.
I mean, it used to be we had 60 lumens and we could expect 1 hour of battery life. That's all we had. It was crazy. We were replacing batteries like gangbusters, and now you get output that's 10 times that and more with more battery life.
Yeah, 100%. Like, for instance, our Fury dual fuel, we call it the dual fuel because it can take that lithium-ion rechargeable 18650, or you can put two 123 disposable batteries in it if you need to. But with the rechargeable battery, I mean, you're getting over an hour and a half of runtime at 1,500 lumens. And then also we have an IntelliBeam version that's constantly adjusting. So if you need only a little bit of light, like you're reading a map up close, it'll use less power and not overwhelm your eyes, which gives you even more battery life. So it's pretty incredible, the technology we have now. It
is. All right, well, we need to tell people this is the very last week, your last chance to enter. We're giving away some SureFire lights here. We've got, all you have to do is go to guntalk.com/win, giving away the SureFire X300U-A weapon light. That's the one you were telling me it's 1,000 lumens?
That's correct. Yeah, that's pretty much the gold standard as far as handgun weapon lights go. I mean, that's used in law enforcement agencies nationwide. Many different contracts that we have for that. It's an ambidextrous light in that you can switch it with either your left hand or your right, both momentary and constant. It's 1,000 lumens. I mean, it's an excellent weapon light, especially for a home defense handgun.
There's no reason I wouldn't think that you couldn't also, if you said I've got a shotgun set up or I've got a rifle set up for home defense, this light would work fine on those, particularly with that wider beam inside a home situation.
Yeah, 100%. You can put an X300 on just about anything, including rifles or subguns or PCCs as well as shotguns. You can mount it just about anything. It comes with both a Picatinny rail mount as well as a universal rail mount, which is what most handguns would require. So yeah, you can put it on just about anything.
Nice. Andrew, thank you so much. I'm going to tell people again, go to guntalk.com/win, just last chance to enter, giving away the SureFire weapon mounted light, also giving away 2 of the SureFire stiletto rechargeable lights. Always a pleasure. You are illuminating. How's that?
I like it. It was good talking to you, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Take care, Andrew. Always fun. Yeah, I admit it. I'm a flashlight junkie. There will be flashlights in my truck, in my bags, in my range bag. Always 2 on my person wherever I go. And it's amazing how many times you end up using a flashlight throughout the day. Once you have it, you just think it's indispensable. Pretty cool. Do you carry a light? Do you have a light on your self-defense gun? All right, back with you. In about 10 minutes, we're going to have one of the best shooters in the world with us. It'll be a fun time for us. We're going to be talking about, well, how do you get to be a professional shooter? What's it like? What's the life of a professional shooter like? Fascinating stuff. Let's see, out of the news, I see another report. Wayne LaPierre has been issued a subpoena. This will be on the basis of or relative to the insurance program, the Carry Guard insurance program that NRA had, that they ended up having to shut down. I guess Oliver North, former president of the NRA, has already gone into and given deposition. I think this is correct, that all of the NRA board members have now been issued subpoenas. Yeah, it's really getting ugly. And Wayne LaPierre has successfully pretty much gotten rid of all of his rivals or opponents. Board members are quitting, who look at it and go, yeah, I can't do anything about this. I guess they fired 3 of their attorneys. I don't know exactly, but my sense is that it's folks who couldn't or wouldn't go along to get along. It's going to get a lot uglier before it gets any better. And of course, stuff just keeps coming out by dribs and drabs. And I'm sure there are people inside who are leaking this information. We already know about Wayne basically living on private planes. He doesn't fly commercial anywhere. He uses your money to fly on corporate private jets. Spending $250,000 on his suits, and now we find out that his wife, NRA, is paying for her hair and makeup to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. The $35 dues you've been paying for her hair and her makeup. There's a lot more there. A lot of it's going to come out. I don't know if all of it's going to come out. And look, here's the real secret. The reality is a bunch of us have been known about this and been trying to get things done about this for many, many years. We've known about a lot of this stuff. I had no idea how deep it went. I knew that there were problems. I knew that there was spending a lot of money, living the high life. Certainly, I don't think any of us knew about the effort to buy Wayne a $6 million mansion. I don't know. I heard somebody call it, it's probably not fair. Somebody called it money laundering. If you're going to set up a separate firm, a separate LLC, and have it buy it, but the NRA puts the money in and run it through ACMAC, and it goes round and round. I don't think it qualifies for that name. But it doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. And the members are just fed up. They're fed up with this. It's not what they want. And I know people say, well, he called the president. He got him to back off. Yeah, well, he backed off for about 24 hours. And here's the deal. Trump's going to do what Trump's going to do. And I get it that Wayne needs to appear to be doing stuff. For me, I will just tell you, the most important thing about Donald Trump is we already have Gorsuch and Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court. We have maybe 100 federal judges that he's been able to put on the benches. And should we get one more opening, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not able to serve out her term, then we get one more bite at the apple. Now, that would be one ugly hearing, would it not? It'll make Kavanaugh look like a picnic. But if you get 3 Trump appointees or nominees on the Supreme Court, it changes things, and it affects the Second Amendment. It gives us a strong Second Amendment contingent on the Supreme Court. And that, frankly, is our firewall against all of these unconstitutional laws that are being passed and being considered in Congress and in states. You get a Supreme Court that says, no, it is a real right. It's an individual right. And, oh, yeah, we have to apply strict scrutiny. Game over. We win. That's the payoff.